is doing, she says nothing and puts her phone away. So one morning I wait for her to get in the shower and I grab her phone before it requires the password. I go through her messages and find that she is texting the neighbor. I am all covered in frosting. You wanna let off? There were no other messages to the neighbor, but I found out later that was because she had set up her phone to delete messages after a certain amount of time. I felt uncomfortable with it, but I knew she had a perverted sense of humor, and I thought she would never do anything to hurt me. More time goes by and the neighbor is spending more and more time at our house, but the office is being completed slower and slower. I can't help but worry that something isn't right, so I start checking her location using Google Timeline. It was at this point that I realized that there are large gaps in her GPS history because she was turning off her phone's GPS. Fast forward to July, and at this point, the paranoia is driving me nuts. So I tell her that I need to install new antivirus on her phone. While she has it unlocked for me, I install anti-theft software so I can remotely turn the GPS back on and set up AT&T message backup and restore so I can read all of her text messages from that point on my computer. Next day, my mother asked to spend time with my two kids, so my wife drops them off with her and has the day to herself. I watch my wife's activity from work as she spends the day trying to meet up with a neighbor but is unsuccessful because he is busy with another job site. That night, we get the kids back from my mom's house and we go out to dinner with a neighbor, his girlfriend, and his son. My wife and his girlfriend are having a good time drinking, laughing, and just joking around. His girlfriend mentions that would like to see Magic Mike XXL. I say it's a good idea. I'll watch the kids so my wife and her can go. So my wife and her go to the neighbor, and I go back to my house so the kids can play video games together. The kids are in the back. The kids are back in my son's room playing games, and the neighbor is sitting across from me on the other couch. It is at this point that my wife starts texting him. She is describing acts that she would like to perform with him, and he is reciprocating. She tells him to check his Snapchat, and at the same time, I get a Snapchat from her too, and it is her self in a bathroom stall. They keep talking, trying to figure out when they can meet up and have. They decided on Monday morning after I go to work. So in my head, I had already planned to pretend to leave and circle back to catch them. But then they tell each other that they love each other, and it is all I can do to not leap off the couch and knock him out. stressed out that she just wanted someone she could talk to. Then she gives me an ultimatum to decide what I'm going to do, or she will decide for me. The neighbor's girlfriend starts defending the two of them, saying that it couldn't have been serious if they weren't having, and that my wife and I are too perfect together to let this break us up. The neighbors go home and my wife and I argue for the rest of the night about what we are going to do. We go to bed separately, and having not resolved anything, we keep going back and forth on the subject all weekend, and finally settle on we were going to separate temporarily while we figure out what we want. I was going to stay in the house and she was going to take the kids and go to our mom's house. That Monday, I go to work and I get texts from her in the middle of a meeting with my bosses stating that she had explained things to our kids, but that they were upset and I need to explain it to them also. I get home from work to find my kids crying. She had told them that mommy had to move out because dad was mad at her. When my son wanted to stay with me, she told him that he can't. My son put it together that if mommy has to move out because I'm mad at her, then he must move out. Then I must have been mad at him too. My daughter was crying because my son was. I don't think she was old enough to understand what was happening. It was at that moment I realized she was going to drag the kids through hell if I left her, so I swallowed my feelings and begged her to stay. She agreed and insisted that I apologize to our neighbor, since we were still going to need to hang out with them because our sons are good friends. I hate it, but I do it anyway. We still hang out with them from time to time, and they come to our various birthday and holiday parties. But I do anything for my kids, and I behave civil every time. Things die down for a while. I still think about it constantly. I worry how can I keep from making her so unhappy that she cheats on me again. Then almost a year from the original incident, around Father's Day again, she sent him pictures again. She claims it was an accident, that she meant to send them to me instead. I don't fully believe her, but I move on anyway. Things have been quiet on that front for about 4 months now, but I still think about it constantly. This is going to sound stupid, but I feel like I have a part of my brain that I can't shut off, that it's always thinking. I used to have that solve programming problems and it made me very good at my job, but ever since this incident, the only thing it thinks about is her and him, and if I did the right thing. My job performance has suffered, and I feel like I haven't gotten sleep in months. I'm afraid that after this much time, and the fact that I begged her back, that to say that I want a divorce now would only make her more vindictive towards my children and I just feel like I have put myself so deep in a hole that I can never get back out. I haven't really talked to anyone about this, and I didn't want to talk to my mom about it because I felt she would treat my wife differently, and I didn't need the two fighting any more than they already do. I tried talking to one of friend about it, but his advice was to put my trust in God. But that was not much solace for me, as I am an atheist. So I have no clue what to do with my feelings or how to move on from this. This post has been archived from October 28th, 2016, but as I mentioned, the internet is forever, it's always there. There were over 200 comments on this post, and I'll be including a few snippets. The top comment reads, "You are trying to navigate was a news story about a woman who had killed her two children after her software engineer husband, Jason Worley, asked her for a divorce, was making waves around the country. People on Reddit began to make the connection. Could it be Jason, the one with the screen name Jason in Hell? He was also a software engineer, and he also had two kids. Plus, he was about to ask his wife for a divorce, according to the latest Reddit update. Many people thought that it was too close of a connection to be a coincidence, while others just held on to hope that maybe it wasn't him. On November 21st, Jason, aka Jason in Hell, posted another follow-up on Reddit. He confirmed that sadly, it was his story in the news. His wife, Brandy, had killed his two children after he asked her for divorce. The following is the message. My name is Jason Worley. I have watched Phil for 7 years now, and his words have always brought me comfort in times of great loss. Last Thursday, I lost my children, Tyler, age 7, and Charlie, age 3, in horrific tragedy. Tyler loved watching people be like, particularly the episodes where Will try new foods. While watching the episodes where Will sat in the hot car, Tyler turned to me and said, "Why doesn't he just turn the air on?" When he saw Steve making his song on the BTS, he had to point out that he had a beard just like his dad, and he laughed uncontrollably at the inflatable dinosaur suit. Every time Charlie saw Trey, she would point and say "baby" and watch Trey's every move. Any kind words you can offer would be greatly appreciated. Hold Trey close. He is ever so special. Edit. I would like to thank everyone for the outpouring love Jason in Hell account in a knee-jerk reaction to seeing my Reddit posts in the news. I guess the first question to answer is am I doing? And to that, I would say I am doing well. I have bad days, but I would think that is to be expected. It is just important that I, or anyone going through something, continue to use the support of friends and family, as well as good coping skills, to not let myself be completely defeated on those bad days. I won't lie, I struggle to get back where I am, but for some time I refused to sleep because of combination of fear and what I would wake up to and nightmares about that night. For some time I used alcohol to sleep, but my family loved me enough to take it from me before it became a damaging and permanent habit. I was hospitalized because I did have thoughts of ending my life because I missed my children so much. From that I learned that you should never be ashamed of your mental health, and not seeking treatment will only make it worse, not better. We have all heard it, but if you or a loved one is struggling, seek immediate assistance. Your life is too important to throw away in a moment of weakness. By putting off treatment, I only caused everything else in my life to suffer. I lost my job and became reclusive to the house. But don't worry, I have been back to work since December, and I have nearly regained my former position and salary, so I am good and require no assistance. The second question would be, how do I feel about the sentencing? That is something that is harder to answer, because no matter what the sentence, nothing will bring back my beloved children. Do I think she should have gotten the penalty which Indiana has? No, I do not. She wanted to, and after 9 years of giving her what she wanted when she wanted it, I was not going to give her another thing. Do I think the life sentence will have any appreciable effect on her? I don't know. One thing she always stressed for the entire time that I knew her was that she lived her life without any regrets. Even after I caught her cheating on me, she continued to say she had no regrets. As for the ex-in-laws, they continue to be a problem to this day. Shortly after everything happened, they changed the locks on the home I was renting from them, with my property still inside. After trying to civilly negotiate the return of the property, it was required that I involve the law enforcement. That is ongoing legal battle. A member of the family accused me of stealing property I had purchased from them prior to the death of the children, and threatened to take action against me unless I paid double what I had already paid them. I alerted the authorities, and as far as I know, that is resolved. They continue to make visiting my children's grave difficult. During the 1-year anniversary, they sat in their truck and just watched me the whole time I was visiting the grave. Because of that, I don't visit the grave as often as I would like to. If I can impart on you something I have learned through all of this, is that you should always take the time to be with the ones you love. It doesn't matter if they're asking you to read the pokey little puppy for the millionth time, or asking you to play Smash Bros even though you both know they will wipe the floor with you every time. Just do it, because you never know what time will be the last time. Always make sure they know how much you love them. I had the fortune that the last thing my children ever heard me say was, "I love you. Good night. I will see you in the morning." So what do you guys think about this story?